Howdy, howdy, listeners. This is your host, Random Nerd, on the Critical Thinking Nerd podcast. This is the Positive Masculinity series where we're walking through identity, virtue, and what it means to be a good man in a culture that often gets manhood wrong. We've talked about who you are when no one's watching and the four core virtues that hold up a man's life. In this episode, we're going to deal with something a lot of men carry but rarely admit: anger, resentment, and the question, who's really in control, you or your temper? Segment 1. What your anger is trying to say. Anger is not evil by default. It's a signal, an alarm that something feels wrong, unfair, or threatening. For men, anger often shows up when you feel disrespected or humiliated. You feel powerless but don't know how to say that out loud. You've stuffed frustration for weeks, months, or years, and one small thing tips you over. The problem isn't that you feel anger. The problem is when anger makes decisions for you. Anger becomes your identity. That's just how I am. Anger hardens into resentment, a story that says, quote, "They always do this to me," unquote, or "the world is against me." Here are some questions to think over. When you're angry, what's usually underneath? Hurt, fear, shame, or exhaustion? Do you actually know why you're mad? Or do you just go straight to reaction? Segment 2. How men usually mishandle anger. Most men tend to mishandle anger in one of two ways: explosion, yelling, slamming doors, punching walls, saying words you can't take back, scaring people you claim to care about. Implosion, silent treatment, passive-aggressive comments, numbness, shutdown, or disappearing. Both feel like control in the moment, but in reality, both are ways of avoiding honest, vulnerable communication. A personal reflection to share with you. I myself have experienced both versions. It's not fun, and nobody wins anything. Lots of tears and loud voices. And at the end of it all, feelings are hurt, and words said can't be unspoken. Stoic thinking calls for a pause between stimulus and response. That tiny gap where you decide whether you'll be ruled by impulse or by your chosen values. Some questions to think on. In the conflict, do you tend more toward explosion or implosion? How has that pattern impacted the people closest to you? Your partner? Any children around? Your friends or coworkers? Segment 3. The stories behind your resentment. Resentment is frozen anger with a story wrapped around it. Common stories men carry: women always use men. People only respect money. No one ever really shows up for me. I always lose. Others win. These stories might have roots in real pain, but when they go unquestioned, they become filters. You stop seeing individuals and only see categories. You treat today's people as if they were yesterday's abusers. You justify bad behavior. Why should I care? The world never cared about me. Some questions to think on. What sentence do you hear in your head when you get angry? What's the script? Who or what are you still punishing in your mind, even years later? Here's something extended to ponder on. If there is a higher power who sees both your pain and your reactions, then resentment is not neutral. It's something you'll eventually have to lay down, not just manage. Segment 4. A stoic approach to anger without going numb. Stoicism doesn't say never feel. It says learn to rule your feelings instead of being ruled by them. 3 simple practices. 1. Name it. Don't just act it. When you feel the heat rise, say out loud, if you can, I feel anger right now because I perceive disrespect. I feel anger because I feel powerless. Naming slows reaction and reminds you this is a perception. It may or may not be the full truth. 2. Delay the response. Give yourself a rule. No important decisions. No big texts. No voice notes. No confrontations while your heart is racing. Walk, breathe, or write first, then respond. An additional assignment. Simply pause and think. If you respond to react, anger has already won. If you pause and reflect, does any response truly matter? A message to the men. You have free will to pause. Honor that pause and simply take a step back and breathe. 3. Ask the higher question. What would a wise, courageous, just, and self-controlled man do here? If you believe in a higher judge, let's take God for instance. If God were watching this moment, and He is, what response would you not be ashamed of later? Again, this isn't a sermon, just a question. Segment 5. A 7-day anger audit. Here's a challenge for the week. Keep a small notepad on your person or on your phone titled Anger Log. Every time you feel anger spike, note down the time and situation, what you think triggered it, and what you did next. Whether you felt like you were going to explode, or you shut down, or even if you paused. At the end of each day, ask, what was under your anger? Hurt, fear, shame, or even fatigue? Where did you act like the man you want to be? Where did you act smaller than that? After 7 days, look for patterns. Are you the same person? Is it the same type of situation? Are you feeling the same insecurity? That pattern is not just about them. It's revealing something in you that needs attention. In closing, this episode covered anger, resentment, and control in a man's life. Not to shame you, but to give you a framework so your anger becomes information, not your master. In episode 5, part 2, we're going to talk to the women about anger and resentment on their side, how it shows up, how it feeds the gender war, how stoic and how wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance apply thereto. Until next episode, stay reflective, stay grounded, and next time you feel that heat rising, ask, are you about to act like the man you respect or the man you'll regret? For truth, transparency, and fairness. If you found this episode meaningful, please continue to listen to my next episode as I dive deeper and research further to share my knowledge with you. Thank you.